Hey, welcome to What the Tech. This is the show where we cut right through the hype to get you the news you can actually use. And today? Well, today we need to talk about the night sky. Seriously, because it might be on the verge of changing forever.
All right, let's just jump right in with a number. And this number, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Ready? 1 million. Just let that sink in for a second. 1 million. Keep that number in your head, because it's at the absolute heart of a proposal that could completely change how we see the universe.
Yep, 1 million new satellites. That's what SpaceX wants to launch into orbit. And look, this is not just about expanding their Starlink internet service. No, this is for something completely different. We're talking about creating orbital AI data centers. Think of them as super powerful computer servers just floating above us, all to give AI applications on the ground crazy fast response times.
So the obvious question is, what would that actually do to our night sky? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answers are, well, they're pretty mind-bending. So let's really dig in and break down what it means to put a million shiny new objects over our heads.
Okay, so first up, to really get a handle on this, we have to talk about the scale, the sheer massive scale of what SpaceX is proposing to the FCC. They're the ones in the US who give the thumbs up or thumbs down on this stuff.
So check this out. Right now, there are over 10,000 Starlink satellites up there. And you could already see those, right? Little streaks across the sky. But this new plan, this isn't about adding a few more. We are talking about multiplying the current number by 100. It's a staggering jump. So what does that even look like, 100 times more satellites? Well, that gets us to what is maybe the most shocking part of all of this. What it means for literally anyone on the planet who just looks up at night. Okay, this is the really critical part. Think about the clearest, most perfect night sky you can imagine. You're way out in the country, no city lights. You can see maybe, 400 or 500 stars, tops? This proposal could put tens of thousands of visible satellites up there at any given moment. Let me say that again. We are talking about a sky where the man-made stuff dramatically outnumbers the actual stars. Wow.
And this chart really just lays it all out. Some researchers ran the numbers based on SpaceX's own filing. So look, the top row is the old plan for 42,000 Starlinks. NVIS there, the number visible to your eye, is in the hundreds. Okay, but now look at the bottom row, the 1 million satellite plan. That NVIS number, it explodes. We're talking tens of thousands. The sky would literally be crawling with moving lights. It's just hard to even imagine.
Hey, by the way, if you're getting something out of this breakdown and you want to stay on top of the tech news that really matters, do us a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to What the Tech. And for real, we want to know what you think about all this. Is this exciting, terrifying? Let us know down in the comments. Okay, so the idea of a sky full of fake stars is a lot to take in. But believe it or not, that's just the beginning. Beyond just the visual pollution, this whole plan brings up some really serious physical and environmental risks that, frankly, not enough people are talking about. So get this. Researchers looking into this came up with a pretty chilling term for what could happen: a satellite crematorium. The idea is that our own atmosphere is used to burn up all these deorbiting satellites. Every single one of those million satellites is going to fall back to Earth eventually and burn up. And the truth is, we have no idea what dumping the remains of 1 million satellites into the upper atmosphere is going to do long term. And that's not even the only issue. It's like a whole cascade of problems. You've got way more satellites, which means a way higher chance of them crashing into each other and creating even more space junk. You've got the pollution from them burning up that we just talked about. And then there's a huge technical problem. How in the world do you get rid of all the heat these data centers will create? Getting rid of heat in a vacuum is super hard, and nobody has solved it for something this big. And this quote right here, it just goes to show how tough this is. So early on, SpaceX tried to make a satellite less bright for astronomers. Smart, right? Their idea was simple: just paint it black. Well, guess what happened? It overheated and the electronics totally fried. If they can't even cool a simple painted satellite, how are they going to cool a floating data center that's pumping out way more heat? It's a huge question mark.
So you're probably thinking, with all these insane challenges, both technical and environmental, how is this plan even a thing? How is it moving forward? Well, that brings us to the world of regulations, and it's why this is all so important right now. And honestly, this is where it gets really concerning. You'd think for a project this massive, the paperwork would be incredibly detailed, right? Nope. The first filing with the FCC was, well, it was shockingly light on details. It didn't have basic stuff like the exact orbits, the size of the satellites, a real plan for getting rid of heat, or even a good analysis of the risk of stuff falling on our heads. All that is just missing. And yet the process keeps rolling along.
You know, a lot of critics are pointing to that classic tech motto, move fast and break things. And look, that can work great when you're building an app. But they're arguing that when you apply that same logic to something we all share, like the planet's atmosphere or the night sky, well, it stops being innovative and starts being incredibly reckless.
So in the end, this all boils down to one huge question. And it's not really about technology or regulations. It's a question about who owns the sky, who's responsible for it. It's about the future of a view that has inspired humans for, well, forever. So should one company be allowed to permanently change the sky for every single person on Earth? That's the real question that this whole thing forces us to ask ourselves.